in shock. The students who were present there had looks of shock on their faces. One move? Is he that strong? Bobby thought to himself as his eyebrows scrunched up and his face changed color, with anger blazing in his heart. He and Tom only had one rank differentiating the both of them. If Tom did well, maybe he could win in 3 moves. That was true. However, just 1 move? That was a humiliation. Facing his provocative eyes, Bobby calmed down and thought, I cannot fall into this trap. Even if I live through this 1 move, he will still humiliate me afterwards. Having been in the city for half a year, Bobby Brown had been beaten a few times and had learned to bear with it. I'm quite tired from training today. Let me rest for a few days, and then I'll fight you, Bobby says with a blank, expressionless look on his face. Okay, kiddo. I will let you off the hook today. But the next time we see each other, do not forget about today's 1-move battle, Tom said, as his eyes gave off a cold look. Bobby's heartbeat started rising once more, and he thought, it looks like Tom isn't going to let me off the hook. I need to become eligible for the orange belt. Only then I'll have a chance against him. After leaving the training ground, Bobby returned home. Since he had managed to gain entry to the main training facility in the city, his parents gained a bit of his prestige and came to the city as well. This was supposed to be his parents' reward. However, Bobby felt ashamed, because his performance at the training center might disappoint his parents. He might also disappoint those of the older generations, who had high expectations of him back at Belmont. I'm back, Bobby said, with his head down. A deep, calm man walked out of one of the rooms. It was Bobby's father, Deontay. Bobby, come quick and have something to eat, his mother, Ashley, said, with a caring look in her eyes as she walked out of the kitchen with a plate of food in her hand. Every time Bobby came home, he was able to feel the warmth and love of his family. Thanks, Mom. This tastes so good, he mumbled, with his mouth full of food. While they ate, Bobby realized that his mother and father did not speak much, as opposed to normal days, when they would keep asking him about his day. He felt as if there was something on their mind, something they were hiding from him. Mom? Dad? What are you... Bobby said, as he saw the solemn expressions on their faces, looking as if they had something to say. Deontay and Ashley looked at one another, and then they took a long sigh, together. Let me say it, Ashley says, taking a slight pause. Some people came over from the training center with a letter, she added. Letter? What letter? Bobby asked, not understanding what his mother was talking about. With a long face, Ashley continued. The martial arts training center has now made some new rules. If the recruitments from outside the city do not receive the green belt before the age of 15, they will be sent back. And not only that, they will not be able to take part in the center sparring competition. What? Bobby said, as his heart stopped for a second and his face changed dramatically. The center sparring competition was where the youth fought to show off their skills. The ones who won would get rich rewards and have a chance to become an inner core student, who would be fully trained by the higher-ranked fighters of the center free of cost. Thus, it was a chance to turn into a dragon from a fish for the poorer student like Bobby. If they lost the chance to enter, it was the same as being thrown away. And the rule that made Bobby Brown's heart cold was the last one. Before the age of 15, those who were not able to be awarded the green belt will be sent back to the towns they were selected from. No, this cannot be true, Bobby said in a soft voice, with both his hands clenched together. He and his parents wouldn't have the face to be sent back to Belmont. This rule is only applicable for the recruits from outside the city, his mother says, with a look of dissatisfaction on her face. Mother, father, it is okay. I'll train even harder and get my orange belt before the center sparring competition, Bobby said, as he clenched his fists. There's still 2 months left. To register, you need to sign up a month earlier. To break through and get your belt in such a small time is not an easy task, his father said, trying to console him. Bobby's eyes went dim, as if he had fallen into darkness. If there were 2 months left, and he doubled his efforts, there was around 20 to 30% chance of success. To break through in a month, however, he believed would take a miracle. After staying silent for a long time, Ashley wiped the corners of her eyes and spoke softly. Bobby, it doesn't matter if you fail. You still make us proud every day. The most that will happen is us returning to Belmont and living a normal life. Yeah, if we return, you will still be the most talented one there. I'd rather have you be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix, Deontay said, as he nodded his head in agreement. Being parents, they would rather have their children be safe, even if their lives would be normal. But return to mediocrity, that was what was bothering Billy the most. No, I'm not going back to Belmont to lead a normal life, Bobby said, shaking his head in determination. He once swore an oath to perform well and become a master of the martial arts. His heart yearned toward the teachings of chi control, which lay beyond the attainments of the black belt. How could he be willing to lose and return back in this manner? Bobby restrained himself from crying, screamed, and merely ran out of the house. Bobby, don't be stubborn, his parents shouted. Boom! Suddenly, thunder and lightning rumbled in the sky, and it started raining. Bobby kept the despair in his heart, howled back at the sky, and ran out into the rain. The lightning flashed everywhere, making his face light up. Not good, Bobby thought to himself, as he felt a cold wind bearing down on him. When he looked up, he was shocked by what he saw. From the time of his birth, he had never seen lightning like this, so closely packed together, like a spider's web. In that short moment, the lightning above seemed to be controlled by some power, something that made it concentrate in such a small space. Phew! A black streak came from out of the light in the sky. It passed through the lightning and caused beautiful dreamlike ripples to appear. It was impossible to imagine what the black line was, as it even engulfed the light from the lightning in the sky. Bobby Brown felt his feet go numb. His hair and clothes turned black, and thunder rang in his ears non-stop. And then suddenly, the whole world went dead silent. What? What is this? He thought to himself, as he looked around himself in confusion. His face was white, and looking down at his feet, he saw a weird black marble, like an eyeball. It looked like all the black energy was emanating through this marble itself. The eye-like marble seemed like it had life, giving off a thumping sound as it moved around and then began to stare at Bobby right in the eye. However, the eyeball seemed to thump in sync with his own heart, giving him an unusually friendly feeling. At this moment, he felt some kind of impulse, almost as if he was being summoned. Does this item have life? He thought to himself as he held his breath, ready for any signs of danger. However, before Bobby could move, in a swift motion, the marble swooshed into his left eye. Ah! He screamed, and then fainted immediately after. Before he blacked out, he had only one thought. I'm screwed. I think this is going to blind me.